최근 영국의 한 군사매체가 한국의 세종대왕함을 분석하는 영상을 제작했습니다. 이 매체는 세계 각국의 강력한 무기 체계를 차근차근 뜯어보는 영상 시리즈를 만들고 있는데 세종대왕함이 여기에 등장한 것입니다. 매체는 6.25 전쟁 당시만 해도 제대로 된 군함 하나 없던 나라가 불과 70여 년 만에 이런 구축함을 만든 것은 기적에 가깝다며 한국을 치켜세웠는데요. 과연 전통의 해군 강국인 영국은 한국의 이지스 구축함을 어떻게 평가했던 것일까요? 함께 확인해 보도록 합시다. 웨폰 디텍티브는 영국 국적의 군사 매체이자 전 세계의 다양한 무기들을 분석해서 리뷰하는 유튜브 채널이기도 합니다. 채널 개설 후 얼마 지나지 않아 한국의 FA-50을 리뷰하는 영상을 올리는 등 한국산 무기에도 관심이 많은 매체인데요. 작년 말 웨폰 디텍티브는 한국의 이지스 구축함 세종대왕함을 분석한 영상을 올렸습니다. 당시엔 이미 후속함인 정조대왕함도 진수되어 있는 상황이었지만 일선부대에 아직 배치되지 않았고 너무 최근의 함정이기도 해서 세종대왕함을 대신 살펴본 모양인데요. 최신 성능이 반영된 데이터가 아닌데도 불구하고 세종대왕함을 매우 고평가하고 있습니다.
The Sejong-Daewang class, also known as the Sejong the Great class or the KDX-3 class, is one of the most important naval assets in the Asia-Pacific region. The Republic of Korea Navy, shortly ROKN, which already has 3 vessels in this class, launched the 4th one in July 2022. The 5th and 6th vessels are on the way. As the weapon detective, we are now investigating the Sejong-Daewang class, the South Korean Aegis destroyer. The Sejong-Daewang class destroyers are the largest and most combat-capable surface combatants of the ROKN. They are even superior to their Chinese and Japanese counterparts in these areas. Analyzing this warship can give us many clues about South Korean national security concerns and the regional military balance. Until commissioning the Fletcher-class destroyers in the 1960s, the ROKN was a coastal naval force. By the late 1970s, the South Korean industrial capabilities and economy boomed, and keeping the sea lines open became more crucial for Seoul. The first examples of this ambitious aim were the Pohang-class corvette and Ulsan-class frigate. With confidence based on these successful projects, South Korea began to work on destroyer-sized surface combatants in the early 1990s under the KDX program. The first step of this program was the Kwangeto-Daewang class, also known as the KDX-1 class vessels. Due to the crisis around Tokdo in 1997, Seoul decided to increase ROKN's blue water capability, but economic problems slowed the momentum. Still, South Korea managed to commission the Chunmugum Yi-sun-shin class destroyers, also known as KDX-2 class, in the early 2000s. But South Korea needed Aegis destroyers, and the Sejong-Daewang class was designed to fulfill this requirement. The first ship of this class, ROKS Sejong-Daewang, was laid down on May 20, 2006, launched on May 25, 2007, and commissioned on December 22, 2008. The second and third destroyers, ROKS Yilgok Iham and ROKS Soae Yuson Leun, were commissioned in 2010 and 2012, respectively. These 3 vessels are defined as Batch 1. On October 10, 2019, South Korea ordered 3 additional Sejong-Daewang class destroyers as Batch 2, which will be 4 meters longer and 600 tons heavier than the previous ships. The first vessel, ROKS Cheonchu-Daewon, was laid down on October 5, 2021 and launched on July 28, 2022. She will be commissioned in 2024. The Batch 2 Sejong-Daewang class destroyers will have 2 electric propulsion systems in addition to the existing 4 gas turbine engines, which provide fuel efficiency and reduce noise. The hull design of the Sejong-Daewang class is based on the US Flight 2A Arleigh Burke class destroyers, but it is enlarged by about 10% to accommodate more missiles. The South Korean destroyer has 32 more vertical launching system cells than its Japanese and US counterparts. It even carries more missiles than the heavier Chinese Type 055 class destroyer. So, many experts define the Sejong-Daewang class as cruisers. Indeed, it is bigger and more combat capable than the US Ticonderoga class. The Sejong-Daewang class has the Aegis Combat System Baseline 7 Phase 1, whose features include an SPY-1DV radar upgrade, cooperative engagement capability, and tactical ballistic missile defense capability, and advanced computer architecture. So, One destroyer can direct the weapon systems of the other, which could not detect the threat, to the target. Thanks to its Aegis system, the Sejong-Daewon class can track and monitor missiles launched anywhere in North Korea. In 2009, the destroyer demonstrated this capability by tracking a North Korean missile. Currently, the ROKN is considering installing Aegis Baseline 9 on the vessels. If this plan is executed, the Sejong-Daewon class would have the capability of intercepting hypersonic missiles. The destroyer has 16 sea-skimming-capable SSM-700K Haeson anti-ship missiles with a range of over 180 kilometers and a speed of Mach 0.95. The Sejong-Daewon class has an 80-cell Mark 41 vertical launching system for the RIM-66 SM-2 Block 3B and RIM-156A SM-2 Block 4 air defense missiles. The Block 3B SM-2 with over 160 km range and Mach 3.5 maximum speed is effective against anti-ship missiles and other conventional air targets such as aircraft and helicopters. It adds an infrared guidance mode to Block 3A to improve cruise missile intercepting capabilities. The Block 4 variant with anti-ballistic missile interception capability can reach a distance of 370 kilometers. The ROKN is also considering acquiring the RIM-161 SM-3 and RIM-174 SM-6 for the Sejong-Daewon class destroyers. As mentioned before, the Batch 1 ships have the Aegis Baseline 7, so they cannot perform integrated air and missile defense to supplement US Army ground-based THAAD missiles on the peninsula. Therefore, even if they are equipped with the SM-3, they cannot use these missiles at full performance. Thanks to their Aegis Baseline 9, the Batch 2 destroyers will have the integrated air and missile defense and SM-3 firing capability. The Sejong-Daewon class has a 48-cell KVLS vertical launching system for the Hunsan-O anti-submarine warfare and the Hanmu-3 land attack cruise missiles. The Hunsan-O, also known as K-Azerock Red Shark, is a torpedo-carrying missile with 19 km range. After reaching the threat zone, it leaves the passive-active sonar-homing K-745 Chansan-O torpedo. The K-745 Chansan-O has a range of 9 km and a speed of 45 knots. It is highly efficient in shallow waters. Also, the Sejong-Daewon class can launch the K-745 Chansan-Os from its triple torpedo tubes. The INS GPS Tarcom-guided Hanmu-3 land attack cruise missile has A, B, C, and D variants with 500, 1000, 1500, and 3000 km ranges, respectively. It can carry a 500 kg warhead. The missile has a speed of Mach 1.2. The Sejong-Daewon class has aviation facilities that allow the operation of two Super Lynx Mark 99s or MH-60 Romeos. When we talk about the Sejong-Daewon class, many of our viewers may naturally begin to compare these destroyers with their Chinese counterparts. Or they may try to anticipate if the Sejong-Daewon class can deal with North Korea's swarm naval or ground-based anti-ship missile attacks. Currently, many assume the only power struggle in the East Pacific is between China, Russia, North Korea axis, and the US-led allies. But it is not entirely true. As mentioned before, the tension around the Togda Islets between South Korea and Japan paved the way for the emergence of the Sejong-Daewon class. South Korea controls the Togda Islets, but it causes a sovereignty dispute with Japan. Therefore, these two countries have experienced some crisis around the area. So, when we talk about the Sejong-Daewon class, we should also compare it with the Japanese Kongo, Atago, and Maya class destroyers. Also, South Korea immediately dispatched its Aegis destroyers to prepare for unforeseen circumstances whenever North Korea conducted a ballistic missile trial. So, even though the Sejong-Daewon class was initially designed against Japan, at least according to the official statements, it is now an essential part of the US-led alliance against the China, Russia, North Korea axis due to the disrupted power balance in the region. Besides, we should remember that South Korea has changed its defense policy since 2015. So, one of the primary missions of the Republic of Korea Armed Forces is to prevent a possible North Korean ballistic missile attack, and after that, to carry out a quick retaliatory strike on North Korean officials as a part of its massive punishment and retaliation strategy. The Sejong class, which can track and monitor missiles launched anywhere in North Korea, is a perfect platform for this job. The Sejong class destroyers carry more missiles than their Chinese and Japanese counterparts. They have the same combat systems and fire control radars as the Kongo, Atago, and Maya classes have. But the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Forces destroyers can launch the RAM-161 SM-3 missiles. The Chinese ships have more stealthy designs. Also, according to the South Korean media, the Sejong class has a high noise problem, while its Japanese and Chinese counterparts do not. Still, its US-made electronics and missiles are more capable than the Type 055s. Another interesting fact about the Sejong class is its size, displacement, and combat capability. In general opinion, it is not a destroyer but a cruiser. Also, the vessels of the previous KDX-1 and KDX-2 programs are not destroyers but frigates in terms of size, displacement, and combat capability. So, after the fruit of this three-stage destroyer building program, the ROKN does not even have a single warship to be described as a destroyer by international standards. The Sejong class vessels may not be able to change the balance in the region alone, but they can undoubtedly disturb it. It is an essential piece in the Asia-Pacific chessboard. These destroyers can save South Korea from the devastating effects of a possible North Korean ballistic missile attack. Indeed, the Sejong class destroyers are among the most deterrent elements of the ROKN.
지금까지 영국 매체 웹폰 디텍티브가 소개하는 한국의 이지스 구축함 세종대왕함에 대해 알아보았습니다. 한국의 해군력이 앞으로도 계속 발전할 수 있기를 기원해 보겠습니다.
끝까지 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 도움이 되셨다면 좋아요를, 다른 이야기도 궁금하시면 구독을 눌러주세요.